But I like what Paul wrote here. Paul writes in Philippians 4:4-9. Always be joyful in the Lord. I say it again. Rejoice. Let everyone see that you are considerate in all that you do, and remember, the Lord is coming soon. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need, and thank Him for all He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds anything we can understand. His peace will guard your heart and mind as you live in Christ Jesus. And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honourable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Keep putting into practice all you have learned and received. Everything you heard and saw me doing, then the God of peace will be with you. Isn't that a great illustration of a positive life choice? Here we have Paul, the Apostle Paul. When you read about the Apostle Paul, he was being shipwrecked. He was bitten by a snake. He was put in captivity for years because of his faith. He was imprisoned. He was in chains. And yet what he says is, be joyful in the Lord. And I wonder sometimes how easy was that for Paul to be joyful in the Lord, knowing the persecution was at his doorway. He was living in all that, but he changed it and said, but be joyful, brothers and sisters. Remember the good things that God has done. And that's my encouragement for you. In the year of yes, for changing of our thinking and changing in our attitude and changing in our lifestyle is to be joyful in the Lord in all things. And be encouraged that we can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, says Philippians 4:13, because that's so true. We can't do things on our own that are positive because that's not our human nature way. That's our godly way. And so when we think about the worry and the stress, it's like a paralysis. It paralyzes us. It stops us from doing that which God has equipped us to do. How many of us are joyful in the Lord when we see the bills coming in all the time? How many of us can be joyful in the Lord when we keep getting put down all the time? How many of us find joy in the Lord in everyday life? How many of us need to change it around so we can actually start thinking about the Lord all the time? When troubles come, focus on the Lord. When those bills come in, pray to God about the bills. Hand them over to Him. You've still got to pay them. But allow God to take that stress away, because that stress will stop you from eating. It'll stop you from sleeping. It'll make your body crash and stop performing the way it's meant to perform. And I really want to pick up on verse 8 here. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honourable, right and pure, lovely and admirable. Don't worry about the gossip out there. Don't worry about what people might think about you. Don't worry about what other people are doing. But focus on what you're doing and make sure that things that you're doing are honourable and right and pleasurable in the Lord. That when God sees you, He can say, well done, my faithful son and daughter. You have done that which I have told you to do. Forget about all that stuff from past. Philippians 3, we have Paul talking about the race of time. Life is a race. If we allow ourselves to be captivated by the thoughts of oppression and depression and stress and worry, and it's just going to become darker and darker, that we're going to just fall and never be able to get up and continue the race that God's calling us to run. There will be hurdles in our life. We will trip. We will fall over those thoughts that people put into our head. We will fall over the thoughts of ourselves. We will fall over the worry and the stress that comes our way. But if we don't get up and shake ourselves off and dust ourselves off and keep running that race, then we will be captivated and we will become paralysed by worry. And I really love this book of Philippians. And I think for our year of yes, Philippians is a benchmark. Yes to Jesus. Yes to God. Yes, I can do all things through Christ who gives me the strength to do all things possible. And if you're not sure where to start, read Philippians, because that's our year of Yes book, Philippians. I'm going to talk from Romans later on during the series. I'll be talking a little bit from the Old Testament, but make Philippians the benchmark. Run that race. Don't look back. Keep going forward. Forget about the problems. Forget about the worries. Forget about what other people are saying. Just run those hurdles, jump those hurdles, and keep going. Focusing on what is honourable and joyful and right by giving God thanks for the day that He's created for us. And don't allow the negative things in our lives to become hot coals that burden us down. God created us to be joyful. God created us to be in a loving relationship with Him, the Creator. He knows what's going on. He created all of us. He created all of us. There's not one thing God can't change. If we're willing to change, God is willing to help us make that change. And God can change our situations and circumstances if we just trust Him. If we just pour our heart out to Him and just say, God, I need your help right now. Help me get through this. Help me to be stronger in this. Help me to change this. Help me to be more wise about this. And forgive me about how I've allowed other people to stop me from doing that which I'm called to do. And to change your prayer life too, I can guarantee it, because your prayers will no longer be from, oh God, I feel so stressed. It'll be, God, I'm feeling stressed, but give me the joy. I'm just so grateful, Lord, for you. I've got a little bit of stress, but there's nothing, Lord, that you can't take control of. I'm just allowing you to deal with it so I can get on and be joyful and just rejoicing in the Lord. That's my encouragement as we go through the year of lifestyle changing. Be encouraged to say yes to a lifestyle change and focus on God. Focus on what is honourable, what is right, what is pure. Abandon those thoughts that come in from all the other distractions. Stay focused. And may the Lord bless you in your journey of yes to a change of lifestyle.